Today on Out in BLOOMAL, we talked with Chris Clemens, Director of Marketing and Community Relations with HealthMarkets Pam Deaton, and Ambassador of the Year with the McLean County Chamber of Commerce.
The goal is to build relationships with long-standing business and to care about the community around me and know that we can all help each other. And that's why we're all there, right? It's why we start small businesses. It's why we are passionate about what we do, because we're there to help grow commerce in our community. I handle day-to-day marketing, whether that's social media, working with the different vendors that we do, whether that be print, radio, digital, whatever kind of marketing happens. And then of course, events within the community relation part comes in, going out and introducing myself, our office, and what we do and how we can help.
So how long have you been doing this job?
I have been working with Pam since the beginning of August, like the first week of August, maybe second week of August. So a few months now. I love it. I love working with the team. Pam's amazing. There to help her clients, there to help her employees, i.e. me and a couple other people in the office. So it's been great.
Have you always been in communications?
Yeah, pretty much. I tell people my marketing career probably started before I really think it did. I came from a family business in Ottawa, Illinois. I did that for about 11 or 12 years, but my family owned a marketing company, print shop, marketing consulting, graphic design, website development, print, you name it. If you could help a business put their name on something or market themselves, we did that. So I've been in marketing for a long time.
Wow, it sounds like something you grew up doing.
Yeah.
I think about my childhood, and like we got a computer about 7 years old, and you learn how to type on it. I'm envisioning you as a 7-year-old learning how to build like marketing materials in Photoshop. Like, is that real?
Not the Photoshop aspect, and like I try not to tell too many people I do design work. Yes, I picked it up along the way, but yes, certainly the sales and marketing aspect. My father actually went to school for communications, but as a radio guy. Okay. So when he transitioned, when I was a kid, he was the director of marketing for a large auto dealer, then a bank, back to the auto dealer, and then he finally said, well, hold on a second, you guys are fighting over having me as your marketing director. Maybe I should just go do this on my own. And in '99, that's when that kind of happened. So yeah, at a very young age, I just think based on my family dynamic and what my dad was doing, it was just kind of instilled in me, whether I realized it or not.
Right. Do you think that that's really influenced the career path that you've chosen as an adult?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. As a angsty teen, I was like, my desk is never going to be a desk. It's going to be a mixing board. I'm a music fan, and I'm going to all these things to fight the man that was dad, right? But when I graduated college and he was like, hey, why don't you come work for the family business? I'll teach you everything you need to know about this, and we can really grow the business and do some other fun things. And sign me up. I was a lost early 20-something. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Yeah. Let's do it. So, and then from there, like I said, it was 10, 11 years that I did that.
What did you study in college? And if your dad was going to invite you to work for him after college, was there an incentive for you to go to school? What was that decision like? Yeah,
so I didn't know I was going to end up in the family business. I went to school up in DeKalb, Illinois. I graduated from Kishwaukee Community College with 2 associate degrees. So did I have any real direction? No. I was going up there to kind of see what things were about. I was not a great student through elementary and high school, and I was like, but I can do this. So my areas of focus were really, oddly enough, and even though they were associate degrees, One of them was an associate of arts and the other was science, and the focus on the science end was psychology. I fell in love with psychology.
Really?
I had an interesting psychology professor, and I don't know, we just kind of hit it off on like a friend level too outside of that. So that always intrigued me. And then, of course, on the arts side, it was music. And that was really because I never had any formal training. I picked up a guitar when I was 15. I never really sat down and learned theory. I mean, to this day, I've been playing music for longer than I'd like to admit, 19 years, but I can't read music.
Really?
Yeah, but I've been writing songs for 18 years.
That blows my mind. I mean, we heard you perform at the Halloween event. Like, you were a professional.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, it was amazing. I can't believe that. That's just so, I'm just so surprised. Sorry.
No, that's okay. No, it was just something, I guess to go backwards a little bit, when I was much younger, I was a baseball fan. I was a hardcore baseball fan. Baseball was my life, day in, day out, from the time I played t-ball at 4 or 5 through my freshman year of high school. And there was a point where I was like, just not having fun anymore, and it became serious. And I met a couple guys my freshman year of high school, and they're like, we love playing music, you should play guitar, man. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I never looked back. I was a huge music fan. I grew up in a house full of music. Like, my parents didn't play, but they were avid listeners. I mean, my parents are the ones that introduced me to Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana and Dave Matthews and like all these 90s alternative things that were happening. Mm-hmm. Like I said, my dad came from radio, so like, he's a huge music fan, and REM and like just all these things. And so I was like, yeah, okay. And so I picked up a guitar. I knew certain bands and their songs well enough. I got on the internet. At that point we had AOL and Google and dial-up still. Yeah. The annoying sound, but
oh my gosh,
that's how the music thing happened. I mean, I was just like, I'm gonna chase another passion, and holy cow, I never thought it would have been that much of a passion. But,
right. So did the music come before or after psychology?
The music came before the psychology. I actually received that associate's in arts before the science, and that was kind of a weird, interesting story in itself. I was in a relationship at the time. I had finished school before her, and was kind of hanging around, and I don't really know what to do just yet. I was working full-time while I was in school. And my counselor said, with like 8 to 10 more credit hours, somewhere in that realm, you could get another degree. I was like, cool, sign me up. Let's just do that, because I don't have it figured out yet. I was 22 years old, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna go, so let's do that. And that's how the psychology thing came in, and the science degree aspect of it.
Do you feel like you use psychology in what you're doing now?
Maybe blindly. I don't think I realize it. I'm people point that out to me and think maybe it's a, manipulation isn't the right word. Persuasion, not manipulation, right?
Right.
But no, I don't think I actively use it. I enjoy people. I'm a very outgoing, social being. I try to do my best to put a smile on my face no matter what's happening. And so I think yes, the answer is yes, I use psychology, but do I actively think about it and how to persuade someone? Not really. I just try to build meaningful relationships. And I think that in itself is where people are like, oh, are you using that? And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Sounds like it just kind of comes naturally to you.
I really think where the whole thing stems from is the family and the support that I had, because I'm not your average business guy. I wear funky flower bow ties and I have tattoos all over and on my hands, and someone first meets me and might get an impression. But my parents always really encouraged me to be myself, be kind to others, treat those the way I want to be treated, right? That kind of cliche thing. And my mother was a huge aspect of that, very spiritual person, and things happen for a reason, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be because you're supposed to be there, you know? And so I think I just always really grasped those things, and I was like, yeah, I want to understand people better, and I want to be myself. So I always had that support to, you can do anything in the world you want, and we got your back. And you're gonna make mistakes, and we're gonna be angry at you, but we'll always love you, and we'll always have your back and that support. So I think that's really where it comes from, is I'm not afraid to be myself. And I know a lot of people hold back on that. They're whether that's a social norm, which, you know, I battle with a little bit too, you know. I like to be inappropriate, but, you know, there's a line with people, right? And there's a line, that line is different for everyone, but I think that's really where it stems from, is just I had a really strong support system, and I still do. So I think that's really where that came from.
Yeah.
Just being comfortable in who I was, always, no matter what.
Right.
You know, my mother is one of the sweetest women, ever. I mean, just huge heart, and just wants the best for everyone, and doesn't wish anything ill on anyone. And that's how I carry myself now. My dad was naturally just this social sales marketing kind of guy, and I think I just combined with all that, it all just kind of molded me and fell into play. We were social people. We had parties, you know, and we celebrated birthdays, and every night, regardless of how busy one parent or the other was, or both of them, Dad would come home, Mom would come home, and we sat at the dinner table, all 5 of us as a family.
You have 5?
Yeah,
Wow.
I have 2 siblings from my parents, and then I have 2 even smaller siblings. My dad started over again. But
Where do you fall amongst your 2?
I'm the eldest of all of them. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, well, let's bring it back to, we had a big chamber event tonight.
Yes.
We had lots of people, and you were just walking from table to table like you knew every single person in the room.
Sure.
Like you were schmoozing it up, and I could tell like that was your environment, and everyone was happy to see you. How do you do that?
Man, that's such a hard question to answer. But at the same time, I feel like it's really simple. I'm just myself, and I take the time with people to get to know them. Again, it's building a strong relationship. I've been in sales and marketing for a long time, but I've never taken the approach that I'm gonna starve or someone's gonna starve because I don't sell this, right? That's never been the goal. The goal is to build relationships with long-standing business and to care about the community around me and know that we can all help each other. And that's why we're all there, right? It's why we start small businesses. It's why we are passionate about what we do, because we're there to help grow commerce in our community. And so, you know, I have been part of the chamber in McLean County for 2 years now, because it was just a little before that I came into the community and started working. And I don't know, again, the support from my wife and my family, my mother, my father, my siblings, and just always be myself. And I walk in the room, and again, I put the smile on my face, and I try to bring that to others. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what's going on, good, bad, ugly, try to find the light and the positive in it. So working the room and doing that, yes, I know a lot of people, and it's I don't know if there's a single person in there. Maybe there was a handful, if I really thought about it, that do business with me. Those are just people in the community that I care about and I've gotten to know over the last couple of years, or just recently. I mean, some of them are very new friends, like yourself and your wonderful husband behind the camera. I'm going to call him out, Eric, which I just met tonight. And so, you know, I and as an ambassador, it's my job as a volunteer ambassador, I say job, but it's a volunteer position, to make those in the room feel welcome. I hope they come back. I hope they see the value that the chamber brings. I hope they see the value that HealthMarkets and the company that I work for bring and can bring to them, as well as all the other amazing new members that were in the room. Everyone has a story, and I like listening to those stories. I like sharing mine, maybe a little too much sometimes. But I think that brings a lot of light to the room. So
yeah, for sure. And I mean, you certainly do a good job at it. You won an award this year in January, right?
I did. That award was a chamber award. It was actually for 2018, which was my first year as an ambassador and chamber member for McLean County Chamber. And yeah, I received the Ambassador of the Year award, and it was a huge shock to me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's always, there were several cheerleaders, and they're like, oh, you're gonna, and I'm like, stop putting that pressure on me. And my wife's like buying this dress for the gala, and like, you better get it now because I just bought this dress. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And it was nothing I ever really set out to do. Again, I just wanted to be myself, do my job, which at the time was a different position. And I just wanted to go and meet people and network and become part of the community. And it's a peer-to-peer vote. So the only people that voted for me to be accepting that award were the other ambassadors. So that was a huge shock and honor to me.
That's incredible.
Coming in for the first time and your peers saying, wow, you were at everything you did. You really stepped up, and like, wow. And so it was a huge honor.
Do you feel like, was it one of those moments that you just felt like you found your calling? Because
Yeah.
I mean, these are people that have been doing that job, right? It's not like random people. They know what you're supposed to do and what it's like to try to do that, and they selected you.
Right. Yeah, so some of them were first-time ambassadors with me. You know, there's, I think last year was the first year we hit like 30 ambassadors, which is a big number. But yeah, several of the ambassadors have done it for many years, and their wonderful contribution to the ambassador program, our community, everything involved with that. And again, I think that's why it was such a huge honor. I'm like, well, wait, what did I do to just, you know, deserve it? Really is kind of how I felt, which I don't know how to, I don't know if those are the right verbiage, but I really, it was that much of a shock. But it was this huge, like, okay, I left everything that I knew for the last decade, family business, marketing, all this stuff, because I had moved down to McLean County and I didn't want to commute anymore. And I'm like, okay, got a new job. How do I get involved? Well, one of the ways that I know how, because I was involved in LaSalle County, where I came from, and young executive networking group. And I was like, this is it. I'm gonna go meet people, and that'll help me grow my sales business for the company I was working for at the time. And so, yeah, it was a huge, like, wow, what an honor. Yeah.
Wow, very cool. I wish I could have been there.
Well, the gala's coming up again in January.
Oh, really?
So yeah, the chamber gala, the McLean County Chamber Gala, is every January, and it falls on a Saturday. I think it's the 25th this year.
Okay.
And there will be a new Ambassador of the Year announced.
So you're gonna hand over the trophy?
That's never been done in the past. But oddly enough, I don't know when this thing's gonna air. I might have put a word in to someone at the chamber like, hey, do you think I could pass it off? I think this would be a fun idea because we've never done it before. I just think it would be cool. And again, a huge, honor for me to be able to do that for someone else. And so...
it's like a passing of the torch rather than it being like taken and given to someone else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And man, they've only been like a officially honoring, like handing out an award at the gala for that, I think for 4 years now. Bev Edgerton was first. Justin Bellis from Bellis Landscaping, J.R. Lelm from Lelm Solutions, and then myself. So I look forward to seeing who it's going to be. I know who I voted for because we just had this past ambassador meeting in November, and we'll all find out in December, and then everyone else will find out at the gala in January. So it's a cool little ride, but I hope I'll get to pass that torch. It'll be fun.
Very cool. I hope you get to.
Yeah.
Okay, so MetLife and the Chamber.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I feel like there's other things you do too.
There's many.
I'm not gonna lie. I looked you up online, and there's like a ton, like a whole list of things that you volunteer and do. And I'm thinking, like, how does this guy have time for any of this?
One thing I tried to keep in the back of my mind is that there's always time. Always time. There's always enough time. Especially for things that you care about, you're passionate about. Mm-hmm. Now, do I always stick to that guideline? No. I panic. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be late. Oh my God. And what happens? I'm late. Right? Because I tell myself I'm going to be. But, I do a lot of things. So, of course, my main focus outside of my lovely family, my wife, my daughter, our 2 dogs, our cat, and then the rest of the family that's spread out all over the country. I'm passionate about marketing, and so the next step is, again, not to give too many shout outs, but HealthMarkets and Pam Deaton, I mean, that's such a passion for me. I love, and this started back when I worked in the family business. I love, and it might be part of why I got so involved with the Chamber and I'm so involved in the community and all these different aspects, is love to help others and be that boost to be like, you can do it, or watch a business grow, and being part of helping that through marketing, through just having a conversation, telling you about HealthMarkets, or telling someone about Out in Bloomal. I mean, we just met, like 2 weeks ago at best?
Yeah.
And I seriously can't count the number of times Out in Bloomal or your name has come out of my mouth, because I'm like, this is such a cool thing.
Thank you.
And I think bringing community leaders in and sharing their story and everything is absolutely phenomenal. It's great for our community. It's great for the individual business. There's just so many things tied to it. So now, do I have a lot of other passions? Yes. Music, of course, we've talked a little bit about that. And I am in the process. I've been playing music since I was 15, and I was in a band in college, and we put out a couple albums. We were like Weekend Warrior touring and doing stuff, and that was a lot of fun, and that was a super huge experience, and I loved that. And then, but I've always been a writer at heart, and I play several instruments. So when the band kind of dispersed after college and we were kind of starting to go do our own things, I got really involved in writing for television and film placement. And I've had a little bit of success. It's extremely competitive. But I write with various people, but also on my own, and creating those and just hopefully getting them into a publisher's hand that then has a contact with a music supervisor of a film or A&E or whatever. And I had, in that 8-9 years, I have about 45 songs that are published and licensed, some that I own the publishing to, some that other companies do. And then I had one placement last year in a TV show, which was amazing. It was a sci-fi show. And
Which show is it?
It was called Beyond.
I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's on what is the name of the channel? It's like the old ABC Family, whatever that is now. I don't know. It was super cool, and I'm like, a sci-fi show. What are they going to use this country rap song? How is this going to work? Yeah, it was like a country rap song. That was crazy. I wrote with like 5 other guys. Like there's several of us that kind of got together and wrote on it, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, it landed, and they used like the whole song. It was a fight scene in like a pool hall. It was like a modern twist, you know, though, because there's like this sci-fi stuff going on. This kid has these powers, and he's like doing all these things, you know, and I'm like, that was really cool. So that was a lot of fun. And then I mean, you know, most of my other time. And by the way, to back up a little bit, you search me online. I don't think anyone's ever done that. That's super cool. That's just like red face. That's fun.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully the bad stuff didn't come up. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't do any criminal background checks.
Okay, no, I'm fairly clean on that now.
So you got all this stuff going on, and you're working in HealthMarkets. Mm-hmm. What is the future for you? What does the future look like for you in HealthMarkets? And what does the future Chris say, like 5 years out or 10 years out? Like, what's your goal?
Yeah. So, well, I do a lot of philanthropy alongside Pam at HealthMarkets, but I do some work with the Boys and Girls Club, some impact volunteering for the Bloomington Normal Boys and Girls Club. I sit on their resource development committee, which helps more resources development, awareness of said club, right? I sit on the Community Cancer Center advocacy group. And so what does the long-term Chris and goals look like? Well, you now heard my 4 major passions: family, marketing, philanthropy, and music. And I have specific goals for each one of those.
Wow, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are they like written down somewhere?
No.
Okay.
No, just things I'm gonna stick to. The family aspect, of course, is always being a better husband, a better father, a better person, right? I could do a lot more listening sometimes. I do a lot of talking, and I think that's the nature of my personality and my job, and I don't mean to sometimes, but focusing on that with my family and making sure again that they're pursuing and chasing the things that make them happy. On the philanthropy side, continue to do what I do. I absolutely love the music program that I do at Boys and Girls Club. Sometimes I don't get enough time in my own home studio writing for myself or doing those things, and so that's a huge. And if I had someone when I was in junior high going, "Oh, you can do this, and let me show you how you can go about it and do it," oh man, my world might even be even crazier and different. So I want to continue to do that and support the chamber and all the business and philanthropy aspects. From a business standpoint, continue to help HealthMarkets grow, because I mean that's really why I'm there. Make more people aware how wonderful Pam is. I mean, I'm a type. I haven't even brought this up. I'm a type 1 diabetic at 22 years. I have the best health coverage on a small group plan because of her.
Wow.
I mean, just it's changed mine and my family's life. So if I can tell as many people, walking, talking billboard here again for those that I see the value in.
Yeah.
And she's one of them. So I want to continue to help that grow, help myself and my family grow with that. And then the music thing. That one, unfortunately, is bottom rung a lot of times. And I do spend a lot of time doing it and thinking about it and playing instruments and performing live. I mean, I love to do that. And that, of course, is always a good time. But I haven't released an album since 2017. I had a couple singles and an album from an artist perspective, because I spent so many years writing for TV and film and like chasing some things and just writing for me and not being an artist and putting that out there. So I finally did that. I now have enough ideas and songs for 2 albums currently, which just kind of came about. So slowly but surely. I don't know when it'll all happen, but volume 1 of Additional Intent is going to be the name of the first one, at least, Additional Intent, volume 1, and then I think I'll probably stick with Additional Intent, and there's a big meaning behind that. But I'm slowly but surely kind of sifting through all that. And you know, I write it all. I am the recording engineer, and then I produce it all. It takes a lot of time, and you're a creative mind. We can be our own worst enemies. So I sometimes should just be putting it out instead of spending maybe so much time crafting it or worrying about it. But that was a mouthful. Those are each 4 parts of my big goals. And I guess one thing I forgot, which maybe someone will nominate me. Maybe someone will see this and nominate me. So, you know, the Ambassador of the Year award was a huge honor. There's another one out there that I'd love to be part of in the community, and that is the 20 under 40. And I only have 5 years to do so. I'll be 35 in 2020, so.
Is that also through the chamber?
Clock's ticking. Chamber is part of it, yes. It's the Pantograph and chamber that do that 20 under 40. It's so.
And what are nominations for that? Do you know?
I don't. You know, I really don't. Shame on me. Shame on me.
Did they just have that event?
The event just happened.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a ways away. Again, yeah. I think typically like September, October time, if I'm recalling.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it had to be recently because I think I remember seeing something about it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, you know, outside of like, yeah, you know, at work we set goals, you know, revenue goals and things like that. And yeah, I set goals for myself and the family and the music and things like that. But if I had to pick like an achievement, an award or something like that, which I don't have many of. The chamber one was a great one, you know. But I think that would be it. Like that'd be super cool. It's just another great community honor and just kind of one of those things. I don't know. Maybe it's just an ego boost. I don't know.
Oh, it's cool. It's always good to recognize people for their work. I mean, if only for the fact that you know that when other people are recognized for their good work, that motivates everyone to do better. Like,
yeah, and you know, I make jokes about the ego thing because it's, you know, I guess it's my way of alleviating a little bit of uncomfortableness of like, hey, somebody nominate me, I want to be recognized. And you know, that's really not it. And thank you for making me realize that again. It always goes back to inspiring,
right,
and letting others know that if you just put one foot in front of the other, I don't know how long it's going to take. You don't know how long it's going to take, but it'll happen.
Yeah.
If you just keep doing that and working towards the goal.
Yeah. That's really powerful.
So.
Okay, it's been a long time. I'm not sure that the audio recorder is still going. Actually, I think it is.
Oh, thank goodness.
Good.
Well, can you cut my whiny dog out of it? You know, she was like,
hear your dog.
Did you hear her for a while there? That's our little Jack Russell, and she is a little baby, and the poor thing is probably freezing because she's on the ground. So,
I'm sorry.
She could be wrapped. No, I could have let him in. She could be wrapped in a blanket, and she's like, because she's like, you know, she's this big and just skin and bones.
That's right, they're the little ones.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to let you go, but before I do, can you tell our viewers and our listeners where they can maybe find you or more information about you or your music or Pam or? Sure,
absolutely. Can I do like a laundry list? No. So at Chris Clemens Music.
Okay.
If you want to check out the music stuff, that's where you can find me. And Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. If you look up Chris Clemens, it should come up.
Okay.
There's one other Chris Clemens out of Minnesota, and I'm trying to get his Google ranking down. No, I'm just kidding. but no, you should be able to find it on any digital outlet, Google Play, Amazon, all that, and social media wise at Chris Clemens Music. HealthMarkets, Pamela S. Deaton. She's right in Bloomington. You won't find anything about me on her website. I don't work for HealthMarkets. I work for Pam Deaton Incorporated, which is associated. And Chris Clemens, CLEMENS.HM @gmail.com is my HealthMarkets email if anyone wants to hit that up. Other than that, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm on social via my music and then working with Pam. So
You know what? I can't let you go yet. Just one more question. Do you have like 5 more minutes?
I
2
have
minutes?
whatever time you need. I am indebted to you for coming to my lovely home. 25 minutes outside of Bloomington.
Thank you.
Dragging your husband after you guys spent all this time working today.
Thank
so
you. Okay.
whatever you need.
So you mentioned the type 1 diabetes and Pam and like how working for her has changed your life. I mean, what is it about Pam that's so different from other people in her field?
Sure. Health insurance, which I don't know much about other than what I need to know to market. But it is very complicated. The laws are constantly changing. There's education that is required constantly for keeping up with that. But what really makes Pam stand out is the care for, and I hate to call them this, clients, right? Because she really treats them as friends and family. There are so many intricacies with health insurance that you really need to understand it, and you need to discover and ask people the right questions about their life so that you can understand really how to help them in the best possible way. Listen, we've all got our views on healthcare in this country. Trust me, I talk to enough people about healthcare. I've been in the thick of it for so many years. It's frustrating for me. But that's really what makes her stand out, the care and the compassion that she brings in wanting to help someone. If you're getting the best possible thing, plan and coverage for you, your family, your employees, if you're a small group, she'll tell you that. It's not about the sale. It's about truly helping people, which again is another perk of working with Pam. I thought in my life there were so many different ways I could help people, right? Never thought it'd be actually working in health insurance as a director of marketing and community relations, but in the short few months that we've worked together, like, wow, we really are changing lives. And maybe that's easy for me to say because mine was changed so drastically with it.
Yeah.
But it's true.
That's really cool. Okay. You have answered all my questions so patiently and with such eloquence. Thank you so much for
Thank
appearing on the
you
show.
for having me. I appreciate it. And thank you to everyone that watches and listens and all that. So I wish you out in Bloomall the best of luck.
Thank you very much.